Today, I want to give some commentary on the current tariff trade war between the US and also China. And I think I will use my analysis for this issue through feminist geopolitics. So, what is feminist geopolitics? And what is the difference between feminist geopolitics and classic geopolitics, or the geopolitics that we used to hear? So, in brief, feminist geopolitics flips our attentions from looking at the decision making or the authority of the global political leaders like Trump's or in the United States or Xi Jinping in China. Feminist geopolitics instead looking at the everyday life. So what they call as the everyday experience to those who are affected by geopolitical decisions. So why then it is important to look the tariff war through feminist geopolitics? It's because while classic geopolitics focuses on what kind of decision or what kind of geopolitical tactics of the political leader like Trump and Xi Jinping will respond to tariff war, we then can look at the everyday experience of normal people. So of course the tariff war permeates into our everyday life. We start to experience that in everyday life the cost of living is rising up everywhere around the globe, including here in Germany, including there in Indonesia, and even in the United States. And this means geopolitics is not far away. It's not confined to the international conference or international meeting where Trump and their colleagues are located, but their decision affects the everyday life of the people. So most people will not be able to afford for food, for educations or healthcare. Inflation's going high, and of course it creates the situations where families that have kids or that don't have kids are struggling in everyday life. So then we start to realize that the arrogance, the selfishness of the political leader really affect the building block of the nations. Because when classic geopolitics talk about state, they talk about states on the global scale, but they forget that the state exists given the building block of the states like the family and also people who actually support the state to exist. So feminist geopolitics now really give us an essential lens or view towards how people are struggling in everyday life and how this tariff war really causes a lot of social problems. Of course, the crime rate will high because people will get laid off from their companies, and that means they can be homeless, and once they're homeless, they cannot afford for their rent, they cannot afford for their food, and this shapes the way people behave. And of course it can also create a criminal rate soaring high. And also in terms of family relationship or sexual relationship, it also affects this individual as well, because they cannot afford for their life, and it really breaks their relationship between husband and wife and wife, man and man, and other types of relationships, both hetero and homosexual relationship, for example. So when we look at this phenomenon called the tariff war through feminist geopolitics, we start to emphasize the voice from the grassroots society that actually we start to realize that we give a lot of power to the state leaders, and this is so wrong. in current system, that we believe that that the political leader is kind of the representations of us, or that they are the life savior. You know, we give a lot of power to representations, while in reality this is not the case. Because of that, of course, we have to flip who actually get affected in the first place, in a bodily scale, in human bodily scales, and how it affects kids, it affects wife, it affects husbands. It creates what they call zombie societies, because current societies are not fully alive nor fully dead. So the lesson learned when we look this issue through feminist geopolitics, I hope that we can provide more voice to the people that are affected from the decisions of this tariff war, and I think we then start to move from this hegemonic state-centric decision towards the everyday experience, or the bodily experience of human life affected by particular geopolitical decision like the tariff war. It's been tragic, and I hope that the situation can be better, but I think we have to give more voice to people who get affected more, and give more stage to the people, not to the state leader. And that is in short about feminist geopolitics. If you want to learn more about different modes of social lenses, stay tuned with me. Thank you very much for listening.